Hey, what's up? I just want to talk about some stuff pressing on my heart, specifically with the church, in the church setting, with in relation to current affairs, um, all aspects. That I believe the church and the wife of Christ, the true wife of Christ, not no rumor of Mary Magdalene, but the church, us, the people, should be doing. My belief at this point about stuff is 9/11, GMOs, some of the stuff that's going on here. I just want to comment on what I personally am believing myself upon, and maybe bring to someone that hasn't thought about it, that is going along, and hopefully throw some, good stuff on it, not hate, but I just want to throw it out there first off. Concerning the church, I've heard lately, and this thing that I've been on, which is just torn me up, non-profit churching, non-profit churches. It's a scheme. These churches cannot talk about Mitt Romney or Obama. I think there's a certain guideline that it can't talk about certain things, and it honestly sounds like it's going against all the doctrines of Christ. It basically kind of reminds me of Jesus. The law saying, hey, you can't talk about the Pharisees, or you can't talk about controversial stuff. But one of the verses I want to bring to light is, in 2 Kings, it talks about kings, and I think there's a line that people just keep following their fathers evil. The people who pass it down to them, what they continue to do in the sight of the Lord, was evil. Manasseh was 12 when he became king, reigned 25 years, and he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, in the Lord's sight. There's altars and different ways that Israel people avoid themselves off, and kings have been there in the Bible to set the tone, I reckon, for allowing it, stopping it. And it shows that kings time and again at times have continued a bad way about things, and then it comes to Josiah in 2 Kings. It says, never before had there been a king like Josiah, who turned to the Lord with all his heart, soul, and strength, obeying all the laws of Moses. This man, in time, it's been, this dude's followed in the father's footsteps. He continued doing it. Then the next guy, there's a period in the Bible where then it says people who done right, destroyed the pagan altars and turned to the Lord and did what was good. It was good or bad. And there's a scheme going on with these churches that are not good, and I'm at the forefront of not finding a church that is profit, contrary to non-profit, in opposition. It just strikes me that Jesus specifically came, he came to bring light to the world, and he spoke in a setting to Pharisees, and Pharisees asked him, the religious law, teachers of the law, and what he did was just fourth dimension to these people. He said, which one of you Pharisees would not get your cow out of a well if it fell into it on a Sabbath, which is work? He said, which one of you wouldn't get your cow out the hole on a Sabbath? He was calling them hypocrites. It was trying to change it. He changed the age of law to, mercy and grace. but he just spoke to those figures back then, the corruption, the tyrannical tyranny, and he hit the nail on the head with it in my book. I think the church should be talking about GMOs. It shouldn't. The idea of conspiracy theorist, even though all facts are there, it reminds me of just, the same leap of faith that Christians take. It was 9/11 set up. You can believe it. You can sit there and listen to mass media lie to you, or you can take the honest leap of faith and go against the entertained mass media. It's considered entertainment now because they lie. The church, well, my church, I have a view of what I believe my wife, and I don't restrict it. I don't say to vegetarians you can't, that's bad. If the Lord tells you that, but with GMOs and just certain stuff, we the church should be taking a stand in, and to become a non-profit church, I think one of the schemes is that you can write your tithes off in taxes, and that if I give $1,000 to this church, I can write it off, get a receipt, and write it off in a tax deduction. It seems like security that you can go there and preach John and Luke and not say, hey, GMOs, or something against the state. In a sense, not so much against the state, but again, in opposition to certain issues and topics. You can't even do that with the church, and with that said, they're not gonna make so much of a court case with the church. They're not gonna come out and say, the government came in and sued this church. They're not gonna make a big move out of it, like Snowden. But the lie is there. The lie and the loophole is there, and churches nowadays are eating it up for security and for survival, trusting in man's mechanism, not the written word. You know what I'm saying? These are some end game scenarios. Reminds me a lot of the Seals of Revelation, stuff that's going on, and I've seen, witnessed with these eyes, some end game seasonal stuff, and I just want to bring it out there for the internet to examine and test spirits. These are, for us Christians, we have the written book in our possession as wisdom, the Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end, and we have the end written there, so let's not be ignorant to it, and be the church that Christ came to wed. Let's not become like Sodom and Gomorrah with our unbelief. For he said before he did that he would save that city for so many believers. Let's get this. Let's bring the truth out. Be at the bosom of truth. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Number 2 is love. Treat your neighbor as yourself. So let's not neglect those two doctrines. I love the Lord first, but don't neglect the starvation in Africa, the slave labor in China. You know what I'm saying? We have to mention it to the unbelievers as a beacon of light to say, it's not looking too good right there, and because we're the ones that are accountable. We're the ones that come to account. Or we know about the account at least. An accountant's upon what we do, rewards and such. So let's reap our rewards, sow the seeds, and reap the fruits. Appreciate y'all watching.